Cloud, so we are recording. All right, guys. Well, welcome. This is new to me. Julie is actually traveling, so she wanted me to lead this week's session. So here I am. My name is Mark Ferreira. I'm a newly coined advisor, along with Daryl Murphy, who's here today as well. And I'm very honored to be an advisor, and I'm here to help anyone that needs help with their SDA or questions. I don't have all the answers, but I do my best. So sticking with Julie's format, I guess we were just, if you want, I think we know everybody here, but I don't know Vincent, and I'd like to, if you can introduce yourself, just for my sake. You may have introduced yourself on another session, but I would like to get to know you.
Sure. My name is Vincent Catanzaro. I've been with Michael Blank since August of 2018. I haven't been on almost none of these Zoom calls with Slack. Drew Whitson is my coach. Just been analyzing deals. Still trying to get my first one going under my belt, and looking for any help I can get.
Awesome.
I'm from Long Island, New York.
Okay, that's the accent. Yeah. Awesome. Well, welcome. Nice to meet you. David, I haven't met you. This is the first time, so I don't know you. If you want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you're doing.
Yeah, I live in Chicago, and I've been with the Michael Blank program for about a year. And my target city is Des Moines, Iowa.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So have you been finding any deals? Have you put in any LOIs?
Yeah, we put in a couple LOIs. The deals, and this is probably what you hear from a fair amount of folks. It's kind of lean right now as far as good value adds, but it's a good market, and I'm just going to stick with it. And I think in long term it'll work out well.
Awesome. Yep. Yeah. Everybody's having that problem right now. I mean, deals are hard to come by. Even for me, like SDAs, I'll go through probably 100 SDAs or analyze deals just to maybe get an LOI in, because even to get to that point of putting in an LOI, it's tough. And putting in an LOI and you find out that there's competition and it's stiff. I put an LOI in a deal probably about 3-4 months back. It was 6.5 million. It was a 80 unit deal, and it went for 7.5. So $1 million over asking. So I mean, and I was under the asking price, because I mean that's where it underwrote. It underwrote for us just under 6.5 million. But yeah, it's tough out there for sure. Who else? Any deals going on? Anybody looking at putting in LOIs or underwriting anything that's looking really good right now?
I submitted an LOI on a 304 unit in Alabama. They wanted 25. I came in at 23, and they said no. They didn't even bother to counter, because they said they wanted in the mid 80s. So they didn't even bother to counter back. They just said no,
Yeah.
But they want what they want. But I have right now I have a property manager and a broker looking at a deal in North Carolina. That's I think that's 242 units. So they're supposed to get back with me Thursday, because my concern for this particular property is the rents. If I could somehow show where I can increase the rents during my first year, and possibly decrease some of the expenses, it would help me out where I could probably bring the price up because they want 11.8, and I'm coming in at a 9.5 or 6 or something like that. But right now it's just I'm just putting in LOIs and hoping that an offer is accepted.
Yeah, well, keep it up. I think what I'm noticing is that you really need a good business plan going in. Like you said, you're mentioning the rents, wondering if you can increase or get those premiums that you want. And I'm finding that when I'm developing like a business plan for a deal, I really got to know those numbers. Like I have to know if those premiums are actually, actually going to be realized. And that's with, the help with the property management company. So, yeah, I understand what you're talking about, but a good business plan with knowing the numbers really well with help with the property management company is key for sure.
I noticed that the returns, because I'm looking at pretty much stabilized properties. They may need a little bit of value add, but I'm not looking at no total repositioning stuff like that. I don't want no gut job. So I noticed my returns on my first year are just a little low. That's coming out in my 5s, but as you will see a gradual increase over 5 years to where they will hit 8-9%, and that's when I could get at least 70% of the investor's return. And then over the next 5, I'm definitely going to hit 15, 16, 17, and that's when they get the rest of their money and stuff like that. So I've noticed, whether if I'm in Alabama or North Carolina, for the properties that I'm looking at, and the area, my returns are just slightly lower because I don't want to go and have to do a whole lot of work.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm seeing that a lot of deals do work with a refi. Like there's deals that I will underwrite. They don't work with just a 5-year plan that, without a refi, but you put the refi in and it looks really good. I know that Nighthawk's recommendations or requirements are it should work without a refi. So I don't know, like I think the refi is really, it's a really good tool to have, a really good option. And I'm just not sure like if deals, a lot of deals just aren't working without the refi, to be honest with you. So if you can find a group that will do a refi, you might find more deals that underwrite.
With Nighthawk, what do they look for? Like, I know according to the SDA, the minimum I think is a 15% IRR, but is that over 10 years that they're looking for 15?
It mentions in the requirements, it says 5-year hold without a refi. So if you can get, it's now 14 to 15% IRR. I think it's 7 to 8% cash on cash return. And they would like that within a 5-year hold period.
Oh.
So a disposition year 5.
But if that's the case, then I could get a 7 to 8 within 5, right? But I could get 15 if you let me go another 5.
Oh, so the cash on cash is there.
Yeah.
But the overall return or the IRR is not in the 5. Yeah. Okay. Hey, Terrence, how's it going?
Doing well, Mark. How are you?
Good, good. How's everything going in the multifamily land? Putting in any LOIs?
Not at the moment. I actually just moved across country, so just got to Seattle like yesterday.
Oh.
So I am finishing that move, and then I'll be back on the track and getting some sample deals out and LOIs out, but nothing right now.
Okay, cool. Chris is here. Chris Roberts is in the house. I don't know if you can hear me. How's it going, Chris?
What's happening, man?
How's the deal going?
Oh, it's good. My 112 unit is still on hold. It's ironic. The seller got hit with some code violations, so she's being fined $1,000 a day right now.
Oh, wow.
Which is a good thing because she'll really be excited to sell when that dust settles. But we're just in a holding pattern, so that's on hold. But we're estimated to close in the next 3 weeks or so on our 104 units in Virginia, which is really cool.
Oh yeah, yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, so plugging along, man. We got another one under contract we're working on right now. So
Yeah, you're killing it, man. Good job,
Trying.
Chris.
thanks, man.
And Chris, you,
Sorry, man. That's why I haven't been here. Sorry.
no, yeah, no kidding. I mean, that's a good reason. I
Yeah.
want that reason.
Well, the main reason is the team calls are at 5 o'clock on Tuesday generally, except for this one today.
Yeah. Okay.
So, anyways,
Right.
enough
Awesome.
about
You're
me.
killing it. How long have you been with the Slack channel? I remember you when you first joined.
Yeah,
You
just since
already-
about October 20th or so.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hit the ground running.
Oh yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
I
No, I
mean-
got really aggressive.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good job,
It's cool.
man.
I had some real estate experience, but not on the larger scale stuff. But I just started adding value and just trying to like you're doing, man. I mean, I give that advice to everybody. I get a lot of people communicating with me on Slack, and I always tell them, look, man, if you're moving fast, it's hard to get hit. But in addition to that, it's hard for people to catch you, and so you constantly have to find ways to add value to a team or to a channel or to a deal. And you just never know when that thing's going to hit where people say, hey, I've got money, or hey, I'm a high net worth guy, but I don't have time, or whatever it is. And you start syncing up with people. I think oftentimes everyone's focused on, building their own team or finding their own deal. And then they can get, I guess, kind of bogged down with that and then stuck, a year or 2 or 3 goes by and they're like, there's no deals, but there are deals. You just got to find maybe somebody who found a deal, and see if you can add value to them and then build a team from there. So there's lots of ways to do it, right? But you just got to keep hustling.
Yeah, and you are hustling, man. Good job, man. You're gonna be you should be running this show right now.
Yeah, right. No, you do a fabulous job, man. You keep it up.
All right. So we have Han. Are you there? I know he's a new guy. I've been helping him with his SDA. And we got Ali in the house, Lakita, and Sean. I don't know if any of those guys or gals can hear me. But anyway, all right. Well, I think we can get into, unless anybody has anything to say, want to, provide any information that's going on in your multifamily lives right now. All right. I think what I'll do then is, well, this I don't know if anybody was here last week, but last week I shared basically how I go through my underwriting process and the SDA. We haven't gotten into the SDA yet, but today we should get into it. And I kind of just, I'm going to provide basically what I do and maybe some things that I've noticed with some of the newer members that submit SDAs, and maybe show you what to look for and help you out when you're building your SDA and then before submitting it to the advisors. This is also more like I've been building up on what I call my research tabs. So I'm showing you what you might want to do if you're presenting it to Nighthawk or syndication team. So it's more than you typically have to do. Like, I don't want you guys to do this just to submit it to one of us, an advisor, just to look at your numbers. You don't have to do that. You can practice, but this is not, you don't have to do that. It's way too much work just to, because we're looking at your numbers really. Molly sent her SDA, and she had the research tabs, and it looked awesome. It was great. And I learned a lot about Oklahoma City. Didn't know anything about Oklahoma City, but because of the research tabs, I like Oklahoma City, and I want to, you know, now I think I want to invest there. It looks like a great place to invest. So that's the great thing about those research tabs. It kind of it shows who's ever looking at it, whether it's Nighthawk, whether it's someone that you're looking to partner with. They can see that the market looks good. They get the whole picture, and that's why I do. Basically, this is what I do. And before I kind of present it to my syndication team, this is what I do. So last week was about the market. So I'm going to share my screen, and let's see here. Okay, hopefully you guys can see my screen. You should see the Bentley Pines. This is our sample deal that we're working on. Okay, so we last left off at the market, and let me get the I should have had everything up and running already, but I have to pull. Let's see here, SDA. Okay. Okay, before I get into the SDA, let's see. Let me just show you actually what we did last week. And this is my research tab. And if anybody wants them, just let me know. That it's nothing special. They're just links. So let me see. So this is what we did last week, and I kind of cleaned it up. But basically, we go through these websites. I listed all the websites. They're not in here anymore, but I have websites that I go to for my market data, and I copy and paste into each of these tabs. So demo and market tab, I'd have all my demographics, basically the population, the growth, median income. I go to niche.com and get basically like the grade that a lot of people put in for their reviews of the market. And then I get some real numbers from Department of Numbers, city data. This one is from Data.io USA. It's kind of cool. It shows you like a makeup of the industries in the area, and you kind of want a broad makeup. You want you know, a little of everything in a market, so you have job diversity. And that's basically what I did last week. We didn't get to crime, and that's a tab you definitely want to do. You want to make sure that there's not too much crime in the area. And I go to Trulia.com, and basically you type in the address, and I could show you because I think I got it pulled up already. We'll just do that quick. I didn't want to spend too much time on these tabs because I think people want to get into the actual SDA. But let me just show you. Wait an hour. Okay, so you'd put the go to Trulia.com. You put the address, and sometimes it won't take you to the address. Sometimes it'll take you close. But if you go beneath, and actually this is the address, it's the apartments are right there. You can just scroll down crime and just go to crime, and then it'll provide that heat map. And actually on the side, it'll show the actual dates, what took place, if it was violent, like you could look at assaults, arrests, vandalism, and then it has the dates. Now for our particular property, it's looking clean. This area is clean. There is some crime around, but not in the area where we're located, which is good. So I do a copy and paste of that, put it in there, and then city data. In city data, you would put the actual, like I put in Lakeland. So Lakeland, Florida. When you put in the generic, like a Lakeland, Florida, it will what you do is if you scroll down, it'll show you the crime from 2005 on. This is really good. And I've learned this from actually Neil Bauer. He had a great, I think he calls it Real Focus, where he kind of shows you how to get some of this data. But what you want to see is if it's a high crime, and 260 isn't great, but it's okay. But if you see it declining, that's a good sign. And it's declining. It's been declining over the years, and it's looking good, and it's probably going to continue to decline. So that's what you want to look for, decline in crime. Even if it's like 400, if you notice, if it was maybe 600, 700, but you notice that it's declining, that's a good thing. So, and that's what I do here. I just do a copy and paste. So now we have like a little snippet of the crime in the area, and you could give it a pass. Like if you don't know if there's bad crime or high crime, and you see this, you'll say, oh, okay, yeah, there's some crime here and there, but you know what, looks good, let's move on. So then, we move on, and that's what we're going to get to today. So we're going to get to the SDA. Let me minimize that. So I want to go through the OM a little, because I do have the T12 and the rent roll, but we also want to get the feel of like what are we going to do with this property, right? Is it a value add? Is it a momentum play? I mean, I know it's a value add, but you could see by the pictures that it's probably a value add. The fences are look a little straggly, probably need to be fixed. And you really want to get the story of the property. The other thing that I do is you want property information. So what we'll do, why did that come up? That was all right. Okay, so what I'll do is do a copy and paste of this, because we want information about the property. It'll come up with, when you look for insurance, they're going to want to know like square footage, and it's just information that you're going to want later on and maybe want to pull up quickly. So I have a tab for that, property info, and I just plug it in there, and that's that. Okay, so we move on, and I don't know, taking a look at the pictures, you can see that maybe it needs a little work here and there, some cosmetics, some paint in the laundry area. The pool, that looks like it could use maybe some fencing, some screening, privacy, and maybe some pool work, some tiles and whatever. So it looks like you're going to need to do some work on the exterior. Now this is where you'll get the actual business plan, right? So they're providing guidance on what you can do. So this is where we find our business plan, and we start to think about, all right, can we actually do this? So this mentions that you can raise rents nearly $250 per unit. Now take that with a grain of salt, obviously, but maybe you can, like, don't dismiss it, but typically the brokers are very aggressive and that price is not achievable, but maybe you can raise it 150. So here is where you want to read through this, you want to see what the actual plan can be, and then ultimately you're going to get into like comps and see where the comps stand, and if you can actually achieve some of these rent bumps that the broker is telling that we can get based on the renovations and everything. So, all right, so we got a value add plan here, which is good. Talks about the interior renovations you can do and the exterior. So this is also where we're going to get a budget. So our rental budget's coming from here, and where you could probably talk to a PM if you know a contractor, or if you can just put general numbers together. Like I mean, I used to do flips, so I know generally speaking, like what items cost, like what a kitchen costs to replace. But when you're talking large scale, you typically can get a lot better pricing. So, but it's, you know, they say like 5,000 to 7,000 on average renovations, but you just have to know exactly, you know, what things are going to cost. So here we get our business plan, and then, you know, the pictures will show what we can do. And this would be, I mean, these cabinets look nice. You may want to reface them, paint it white, new countertops, stainless steel appliances. That's another thing. Like you may not need stainless steel appliances. You have to think about the market, and that's going to, the PM is going to help you with that. Like you may be thinking, okay, let's do stainless steel, but your PM may say, no, this market, you don't need stainless steel. So then you go through here, it looks like it needs some work, the vanities and the floors. So we're just going to get the business plan. And the broker really helps you with that, because they provide, you know, at least a framework of what you should be doing to achieve rent premiums. And it's all going to be validated with your property management company anyway, and he'll let you know if you can get those rent bumps. So, all right, so as we go through the OM, we're seeing more pictures, and this looks like, I mean, this is a clean looking, I would love to renovate this because it's looking clean. It looks like a strong, you know, just good bones, and basically needs some cosmetics and some freshening up, some vinyl floors. But I know what this went for too. I actually looked it up on the sales, and it's going for 7.8, right? It went for 7.9, so 7.9 million it sold for. So this is more about the market, and I'd copy and paste this as well into the market area, because this is good information about you know, the jobs coming in, international airport, the health facilities close by, and then education and attractions. This is all great information for that, and also like developments. That this is really great when you can show that jobs are coming in. Amazon, I mean, spending $100 million of investments, 1,000 jobs. This is great information. This is all something I would copy and paste. And if you're presenting or showing this, you should know all this stuff. Like this should just roll off your tongue, and it will. I mean, Chris Roberts, they presented their deals to investors, and you know, they talk about all the stuff about the market, you know, and it's just information that you could use later on when you're doing an investor presentation. So, all right, and so what I'm going to do, and this is these are the comps. Another thing when looking at the broker's comps, they're going to use the cherry picking. So our property is right here. They have comps like miles and miles away. They're not real comps. And a lot of times, you know, these comps are a lot better, and they might sprinkle in one or two that are similar, but most of them are better properties, maybe higher class, more amenities, and they make it look like you can achieve the same rents as these, you know, these higher class properties. So you just got to look out for that. And the rent comps. So all this information is good, but you got to do your own homework. Like the market comps that they provide, you can't really use them. There's actually two of these properties are comps, and I looked this up, but the others, not really. So, you know, two out of 10 are really good comps. So, and then this talks about these are the comps with the occupancy, And I looked at the occupancy in Lakeland, it's about 95%. So Bentley is, you know, under occupancy or under occupied compared to the market overall. So that could be an opportunity. And all right, so let's get into the numbers. So it's always good to go through. I mean, you're gonna get the OM. You're gonna go through it quick. If you do what I do first by look at the market and the crime, then you start digging in more, get the business plan, and then you start plugging the numbers in. So that's what we're gonna do right now. So let me just first show you. This is an SDA with nothing done to it. Okay. I don't want to take the time to plug in every single number. I'll show you where I get the numbers, but I didn't want to take, you know, all the time to plug in the numbers one by one. I mean, it's going to be tedious and you guys will fall asleep. So I plugged the numbers in, and we'll do it right here. Those are all my research tabs. So I plugged the numbers in. I'm going to first grab the T12. And actually, what I do is I put the T12 in here. It's not in here right now. I'm going to show you how I do it. It's, you know, it's pretty simple, but if you're new to Excel or don't play around in Excel that much, this will be helpful for you. So, so basically what you do is, this is the T12. I downloaded it. I actually highlighted some areas that we'll go over because everything doesn't come perfectly as the SDA. So everything is kind of separate. You have to grab like the different, you know, repairs and maintenance and contract services. So you have to find those pieces and plug it in to the right category in the SDA. And that's kind of what I do with this, and that's why it's highlighted a little. So if I want to get this into the SDA, so everything's in one spot, I will you highlight the tab and you do a move, and over here where it says book, to book, you choose whatever the SDA is. My SDA is called UW Lakeland. So I'll click on that, and then you want to create a copy, and then where do you want it in the SDA? So this is basically the SDA I'm working on, the UW Lakeland. Where do I want it? I want it right near the T12. The T12 is blank, but I'll do that, and then that's where it comes into. See here's the T12. I don't need this anymore, so I'm just going to delete that. And I'll name this T12. Okay, now we got the T12. And I also do the rent roll, and we'll wait on that. I don't want to waste too much time. So here, this is a cool thing too. This is what I do when I want to look at the T12 and look at the SDA at the same time. So I'm transferring the numbers, right? So what you do is you go to View and New Window. And what happens is it creates a new window of the same sheet. So there's two SDAs up right now, but no matter where you plug in numbers, the original SDA always gets that update. And so what I do here is this. And these are, I don't know, these are techniques that some of you may already know about. It just makes it easier when it's side by side. And what I'll do is go to the Scenarios tab. Okay. And then this is another thing that I do. You just want you want the totals, right? So in the T12, if you highlight that whole column, right, from where the description is of the expenses and income and everything, highlight that first column with the numbers, and you just go to, where is it, View, and you want to freeze that pane right there. So we'll freeze it, freeze pane. And now you can slide all the way. So you get the totals, and it's not taking up that much space on your screen. And that's what I'm doing here. So I like to do that as well. So now I'd plug in the numbers, and basically I knew what the asking price was. I've already played with the numbers a little bit. That's why it's at 7.1 million. You put in your units, and default down payments 25%. So then I'm plugging in the numbers. So this is where I'd plug in this number right here, 812. So, and this is how I do it. Now this is a good one. There is no vacancy. They do not show vacancy in this T12. There is definitely vacancy because the rental income goes up and down. So there is vacancy, but we don't know. So what I'm doing here, and I'll show you on the SDA, is I create vacancy because there is vacancy. It's just, it's just not there. They haven't recorded it. So after I plug in these numbers, I'll get to that though, how I do vacancy when they don't show it. So let's go here to the SDA. So basically I'm just plugging in the numbers where some of them, it doesn't say that this is repairs and maintenance. I have to assume, I have to create that. So cleaning carpet, commissions, repair materials, repair maintenance. These will go under repair and maintenance. And that's where I have these numbers right here. See these numbers? These are, I added different categories that they have separate, and then, combine them to be, so this right here in blue is actually contract services, the 45,032. So that's what that is. So I wanted to show you kind of, how we get to that, how we have to sometimes funnel different categories to get into the SDA. And that's what we've done here. So all these expenses are right here. They did not have general admin, so I'm assuming they didn't have payroll. So I'm assuming everything was in repairs and maintenance because it was so high. So 184, which is high, 184,000 for repair and maintenance. So they didn't spread it out appropriately, and that's what I have to do. So that's in the marketing package, and I noticed that some of the SDAs that have been submitted, they kind of just put in 50%, and they don't fill in anything. And I understand you just want to get it out quickly. Yeah, it's going to be around 50%, but there's a disservice you're doing because you can find opportunities too. There could be opportunities of savings in there, and it may not be 50%. And there may be opportunity, you may be undercutting. It may be 60% of expenses that you need to add. But if each item, you could better determine if that's a reasonable expense, or is it too high, is it too low? But when you're just putting 50% in there, it doesn't help. So I just encourage everybody that does the SDA, just go through the motions of it. I mean, it just it'll help you out, and it'll help us out as well. And we could be able to determine if there's opportunity for savings. So, all right, so the marketing package, everything you get in the OM goes here. Now in my version, this is where you have to start thinking about, like, for instance, they didn't have vacancy, okay? So how do I create vacancy when they don't show it? So what I do is basically I know how much the net income is, right? So all I do is I get this figure, and then I basically add the vacancy into it. So I have the other income here, and then I have this number here, and you just figure out, okay, how much would it be to get to the 829 figure right here or right here? What do I do? Like, how do I take it out? And I figured I just added 3% vacancy and then concessions. It could be more like 4%, and then, and maybe 75, 65% of concessions. But I want this number, the net income, to be the same as this. And that's how I did that. And that it changes the average monthly rent, but it's more realistic because, I mean, now we have at least some real vacancy that we could work with and concessions. So for the income, that's how I did that and overcame their lack of vacancy there. And then we go into the real estate taxes. You have to, and what I do is I actually highlight areas where I'm changing or making a comment. So I'll do a highlight here, and I'll say, if I still need to validate the taxes, I'll say it. I'll type it in. I'll say I need to validate taxes, but the broker said this, or whatever, So, and anytime that you think you should be communicating something to either the advisor or whoever you're presenting the SDA to, make sure that you're explaining, like, what are you changing? Why did you change that? Then just make a comment, and you just right click and you edit note or add note. And you highlight it. So I do a lot of highlighting, a lot of note taking. This one, this looks like an opportunity for savings, because this is kind of high, $45,405 per unit for contract services, but they may have a lot of landscaping that I don't know about, but 405 seems a lot to me. 200 to 300 seems okay. 400 seems a lot, but I could be wrong, but something to look into. And cable services, I remember that this was going away, so we had no cable service. So I would put a note here as well. No. So I would put a note here saying that, no more cable services, contract terminated or something like that. Contract ended. And I kind of I changed this a little bit for a reasonable amount of legal. I mean, something that small, I don't comment on it. I would comment on this. So repairs and maintenance. And because people that are looking at this, they're not going to know what right? They're not going to look at the T12. I know advisors are not going to look at the T12. We're going to say, what is going on here? It's 184,000 in repairs and maintenance, and then you're dropping it down to 70. Why? So you just have to explain it, and that's what you would do. You'd explain it here, saying, the owner grouped all expenses or something like that into this category. And then we'd have to separate. So that's what I did here. That 184 is probably all within here. It's probably more than 184 over here. But anyway, I took money out because this is just exploded. It was way too much. And I believe pretty much general admin, payroll, marketing, they were all in here. So that's what I did. I separated the everything. And you could make notes here, or just highlight it, just so, you know, because you may want to just make a note and then here explaining that you've now, you know, separated the expenses. And so I kind of just highlight things that I change. And this is, and I use rule of thumb as well. So I'd be using rule of thumb here first and then validate it with a property management company. And as you get more experience, as you speak and discuss, and I mean, sometimes you want to show your pro forma or what your plan is, and you may want to show your PM this. And actually you want to show them this. Sometimes I have a version that I show the PM. I actually created it. It's just less, I don't give them the whole SDA. I literally I have this sheet. It's almost like just a snapshot, really. So they're not changing anything or digging into things, but you know, just show it to them. Tell them this is my expenses. This is what I'm coming up with. What do you think? And you'll learn a lot, especially if you're in one market. You'll get to know it really well, and when deals come, you're going to see opportunities really quick. You'll say, oh yeah, I mean, that expense is high, payroll is high. They may have too many employees there, and payroll is high. So you're just going to learn a lot as you work on it more and more. So this is going to be my version as it stands today. What is it going to cost me? What are my expenses, you know, with the income today as it stands today? And what's my real estate? What's my insurance? Because all this is definitely going to change. Some of these may not change that much. I mean, we have 52% of expenses or expense ratio with the marketing package. And right here, I have 54%, which isn't that far off. I mean, it's 2% more. So, you know, and this may not be right. And I'm guessing this is probably going to be double. It is Florida. And I think, I'm not sure in Lakeland, but I'm pretty sure, like, you know, the taxes will change right after closing or soon after. But anyway, that'll probably change. All right, so this is it. So this is your version, and your version really is, this is the cap rate. So if the cap rate is, let's just say, whatever, let's just say a 6 cap. We'll say 6 cap. That's how I look at I look at my version as, okay, I'll tell the broker, if you're at a 6 cap with my expenses, because they're new, I mean, they're new expenses, with my expenses at a 6 cap, you know, it's going to be more like what, 6.9 maybe? Oh, wow. Well, we're getting there. Let's just say it was 5.8 is the cap. So we can tell them, okay, and you really want to explain, if you're going to put in an LOI, you want to explain where you got your number from. And you can let them know, this is where we're at. We spoke with the assessor's office, you know, taxes are going up. We got a quote from the insurance company. I already spoke with my property management company, so I know how much payroll is going to be, and he's validated the expenses for repairs and maintenance. And I have a replacement reserve for just deferred maintenance, just normal wear and tear, roofs. You need the replacement reserves for that, and that's part of the expenses. So, you know, you can explain to the broker, where did you get your number? And then you can say, listen, you said it's a 5.8 cap rate. I'm right there with my expenses. So that's your version of your expenses and the income that the property is producing today. Now, when we go to projected, this is what we want it to be, right? And this is where things get interesting, because now you need a business plan. This is, you know, you can try to come up with the projections based on the OM, but I would not do that because they're unrealistic and they're typically very aggressive, and usually they have their pro forma like year 2, year 1, they're already at the, you know, at the pro forma. It's ridiculous. So you can never use that, but this is where we come up with our business plan. What time do we have? 8:51. Okay, so let's start it up. Let's take a look at our business plan. So let's go back to that value add. Okay. So we're going to make some assumptions here, and we're just going to say, let's see, resurfaced. So for interiors, let's just say, what do you think, Daryl? What should we say? 7,000? You're not paying attention.
He's muted. You're muted, Daryl.
Sorry about that. For
Okay.
interiors, you said 7,000?
Well, I was just, yeah, I'm trying to come up with a number, because what we're going to do is we're going to come up with a budget, a rental budget.
Yeah.
And we're going to come up with our business plan.
Yeah, but if you're not gonna put in, if you're not putting in stainless steel, if you're not gonna gut the place, I don't see 7,000. If you're gonna just do like paint, carpet, clean the place out, I probably wouldn't go no more than about 4, 5, but I wouldn't do 7.
Yeah.
Now as you plan on doing a major renovation.
Yeah, let's look at it, because it's a clean looking apartment.
That
So
was,
really,
yeah.
We'll paint the cabinets. We'll put new faces on, maybe shaker doors, countertops, and it's going to be, you know, Formica granite, faux granite, and vinyl flooring in the kitchen.
Yeah, I don't see $7,000 for that.
No, I don't either.
You'll still replace the flooring even though you have some nice tiles down there?
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, the gray vinyl planks look amazing. So it
Yeah, they're pretty
depends.
sexy.
Like, it looks good. This looks fine. And but if we're going to bump rents like $150, I mean, the broker's saying $250. I think we gotta up the game. So I don't think vinyl plank flooring isn't that much. I just don't know how many square feet each of the units are.
It would be in the OM.
Yeah.
It's in the OM on the breakdown with the rents. It gives the square footage.
Yeah, I don't know how to calculate. I don't know what the square footage would, I mean, the price per square foot would be, but anyway, all right. And then we'd maybe just put, I don't know if we reface the cabinet of vanity, or just put a new vanity, probably just put a new vanity in. It's a small single. All right, let's just, what do you think? $5,000?
Yeah, I would not go over $5,000.
All right, we'll put $5,000 for a unit upgrades. Now, exterior, we want to, we've already saw that the pool area needs some help. Maybe 50, I don't know, 25, 50 grand there. New design from furniture.
Well, it says just the pool furniture.
enhanced deck, sun deck,
Oh
stamped
yeah,
concrete or patio.
concrete
I wouldn't-
pavers.
I mean, I don't think we do patios, but definitely do some work around the pool, the concrete area, maybe some tile around the pool. Repaint the buildings. That's a big job. Repaint the buildings. I don't know if we do that. The new fencing. There's like 19 buildings, and where's those I want to see those fences. Yeah, I mean, changing out these fences. I don't know. What do you think total?
If you look at that building, if you look on that building, I think what needs to one is look at the building overall. That does the building need to be painted or need to be cleaned? Now, if it could be power washed and brought to brightness, then that's great. But if that's mold, like just needs to be washed off, that could save you a ton of money if that's what your plan is. But I would definitely take a look at that to say, okay, does it need to be painted, or can I power wash these buildings to save money?
We could probably power wash the buildings, and then with white fencing, just it'll enhance, and it would enhance everything just with the white fencing. But all right, and really, I just kind of I want to think things through a little bit, and not too much, and just get a budget together. So, all right, we'll say 5,000 for the interiors, and maybe like, I don't know, 150 exterior.
Yeah,
there's a lot of fences. There's 19 buildings.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fencing.
And just all you're going to do is paint, right? You're not. Are you looking at replacing, or are you just going to paint them?
I was thinking replacing them.
Yeah, okay, because wood is expensive. Yeah, because right now wood is going up in price, so you're going to want to consider that.
Okay. I'm just going to put 150, and we'll go from there. So, all right. Okay, this is how I do it, and I can provide this to whoever wants it. And I think they're 2 beds, right? I think they're all 2 beds, or all 1 beds. They're all 1 beds. Okay, 600 square feet. They're small. Maybe we do 4,000, because we have overages too. So we do how much it costs for the reno. We do the $1,000 overage, and then the 1 month of lost rent. So let's do that. Okay. So this is on the business plan unit mix, and I can give this to you guys if you want it, but this is how I do it, and you don't really have to do that, but okay. So right now, I just had that information too. The current in place, 628. Okay, so current in place rent is 628. All right, and let me just change that. All right, so that's the annual income. Okay, we don't know what rents are going to be. This is just here because it was here from earlier, but we're not sure exactly what rent's going to be. Now, this is the rental cost. This is how I come up with the cost. So if we'll do 4,000. We're doing 4,000, so this is the column that we're dealing with right here. 4,000 per unit, and then you get the rental cost, the base rental for each unit. And then this is the overage. So this is $1,000 over, for every unit, over whatever the overages could be. And rental budgets always go over. So that's that price. And then rent lost, which is basically 628 times, 112. Right? Yeah. So that would be the loss of rent throughout that rental period. And then we come up with, this is the number. Now, if we're doing landscaping and amenities, what we said, 150. Okay. So total is 780. That's what we got just from that. 4,000 per unit. We got overages, and we got 1 month of lost rent. 780 is the rental. So what I do is I go over here, and actually, if you have this all in your, I basically have it all tied in now. So in the scenarios tab, I literally just say equals. So I put in an equal sign, and I go here, and I use this field. So after I plug in all of this, it comes up and it puts it right in here. I mean, it's not a big deal. If you have the tab, that's all you have to do is equal, and then go to that specific cell and click on it, and it'll populate. So now this is the projected. Now we're just gonna say 850. I mean, we'd have to look, and we're getting close to wrapping up. It's like 9:01, but let me see what they have. I don't think they have a side-by-side. It just mentions like 250 per unit premiums, like average nearly 250. So we'll just say, I mean, we could say that just for the heck of it. Yeah, so we'll plug that in. Oh, that's the old one. I can close that. Okay, so let's plug that in. Actually, this is how I do it, because I'd have to change this number. Like, you have to change this number in order for the average rent to change. So I go to my, so here, so 850. So if we do this is the after reno column, we want to bring rents to 850. So it's actually a $222 premium per unit. So this would be the annual income. So you could just copy that, go here, and paste. And there you go. See, you get the 850. All right, so this is our pro forma. We know the market is about 5%. We have concessions. We have all the expenses that we already figured out and spoke to the PM about. So let's see where we're at. I mean, the pro forma looks good, but how long is it going to take us to get there? And typically, it's going to be 24 to 36 months to do the reno, and that's what the rent escalator does. And this is something that I did the 36-month. This is a 36-month rental plan. I know it looks crazy, but in each, so basically what we do here, so we got 112 units, right? So we say, okay, we can probably do, let's just say we can do 5 per month, okay? 5 units, so we're renting 5 units per month. Let's see how long it would take. Oh shoot, what did I do? Okay, so 5 units per month. Okay, it wouldn't take that long then. It would take, okay. That's probably aggressive, especially that, well, 95%. I mean, even with 5 units per month, we're still at 95% occupancy. So you could do that. If the PM says you can do it, you can do it. Now, when you put this plan in, We got $222 dollar premiums each unit that goes online. I have it go online in month 4. So after we purchase the property, we close. 4 months later, we're getting our, those new units online. And that's conservative. I mean, you kind of want to go hit the ground running and get those units done quick. So it is conservative. You could probably do month 3, maybe even month 2, but I got it at month 4. So starting at month 4, you got about 8 months of renos coming in. And this right here is year 1. This is year 2. Okay. And this is year 3. And then this is like complete, like, because I think, well, this is actually 24 months. This is when a full year of full rentos are in. I mean, it's very close to year 3. But anyway, this is the numbers that you would use to put into your P&L statement. And I probably don't have time to continue. So we'll probably have to continue next week. And we figured it was going to be about, I didn't think it would be more than 4 weeks. I'm hoping not. I don't want to bore everybody. Maybe this is good for some, maybe it's not. I don't know. I'm hoping that everybody's getting a little something from it. But what I'm going to show you next week is how we get the rental premiums into the P&L and actually see if this is going to work. Because once you get these numbers in, once these rent premiums are actually in the scenarios or in the P&L, then we can actually see the numbers in the summary. So and I think I already have everything in there, but I'm going to show you how I actually get those numbers in, or the premiums in. But right now it looks good, but the price is obviously it didn't work because we knew this thing went for 7.9 million. But I am at, let me see here, offer price 6.5. Yeah, so we'll it is what it is, but the numbers do have to work. But next week I will show you how I got those numbers, the premiums into the P&L. But you guys have any questions so far? I know I hate to cut it in, but I mean, it's just it's kind of a process, but any questions, guys?
Mark.
Yes,
Mark,
Devin.
this is Devin. This is incredibly useful. Absolutely. You going through and like the little tips and tricks that you point out about how you use Excel to your advantage and how you manipulate the SDA is incredibly useful. So please please continue on with those. And at some point, did you offer to supply this SDA at some point?
Yeah. So I want to make it clear, like the research tabs that I came up with are basic. I mean, I'm just giving it away to whoever wants it because it's helped me. It's not a big deal. Like I think this, like the business plan unit mix, it's not a big deal either. Like it's the calculations are simple, but it makes my job easy, and whoever I can share it with, I want to share it with. So I will give you all these tabs that I use.
Fantastic.
And anybody that wants it, just let me know. Like just direct message me, and I'll upload it for you.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is actually, I mean, it looks more complicated than than it is. It's not that complicated. It's simple math, but it took a little bit. It took a little while to do, but it's not a big deal.
I
So,
hope so.
Rick, how's it going? Are you learning anything?
Oh my goodness, I'm learning how to breathe tonight, Mark. Thank you. Yeah. Actually, you answered a question without even knowing it.
Oh, good.
Yeah, because I was looking at your C41 there, the marketing, and I was wondering what, because usually a lot of times in the T12s that I see, they don't put anything under, they don't list a deposit to replacement reserve. And I was wondering, okay, well, what did you put? And I'm seeing 0, which is what I do because they don't put anything down there. So yeah,
yeah, they never put anything down there.
Yeah,
That's true. Okay, good. No, that's good. I like the feedback. You know, I just want it to be helpful for everyone. And, you know, I think these tabs are definitely helpful for everybody, unless you have another tool that you're using. So, you know, just direct message me. I'll give you all the tabs. And basically what it is I think I showed last week, but where is it here? Tools. So yeah, it's everything that you've seen today. I just have the links in there for you. So I have, you know, all the links, crime, rent comps, the flood map, and then all those other tools. So, yep. Direct message me and I'll hand it over to you. No problem. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining. I'm glad to hear the responses. It's good to know that, you know, everybody or a lot of people are getting some useful tips here. So I will, let me see here. How do I stop sharing? Okay, there we go. We're back. Oh, wow, there's a lot more people than originally came aboard, so awesome. All right, guys. Well, you know, we'll see you next week. I think Julie will be back, so she'll be leading, but I will continue, and we'll work on rent premiums and see if we can put an LOI on this baby. It's already sold, so not going to happen. But anyway, all right, so we'll talk next week. Have a good one.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks,
right.
everybody.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. That was great.
Awesome. Bye-bye.